sending those subpoenas out to them because they want to specifically scour the flight logs and scour the manifests to find out exactly who was on those planes, where they were going.
Tonight, new details are emerging about who the feds want to talk to in the human trafficking investigation involving Sean Diddy Combs. Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. TMZ has learned authorities are trying to take a closer look at the flight manifests of several private jets used by Combs. Investigators caught up with him on Monday at a Florida airport as agents were raiding his homes in Miami and Los Angeles. TMZ's Branson Quirk says authorities are focused on where Combs has traveled on those private planes.
One thing that they made specific as well in this investigation going forward is that they're going to be interviewing, everybody that was on these planes, not just, alleged victims that have spoken out or names that are tied to these lawsuits, but they're going to interview everybody that has been on these planes because, it's not just alleged victims. There's also people that could be witnesses who had saw some wrongdoing on Diddy's part and so forth.
Combs' attorney says the music mogul is cooperating with investigators. Tonight, Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf spoke to another attorney and film school professor about how this investigation could potentially lead to changes in the entertainment industry.
The police, we have a warrant. Come out with your hands up.
The shocking moments now moving the music industry to center stage.
Residents of 200.
Sean Diddy Combs' homes in LA and Miami Monday raided by federal authorities in what sources say is a sex trafficking investigation.
It's not going to stop. There's no reason to think it will, because some of these celebrities are literally out of control.
Fox 11 exclusively one-on-one with high-profile attorney Gloria Allred, now representing two people bringing allegations against Diddy.
They're aware that I represent two alleged victims, and they're aware of the names of the two alleged victims. And that's before his homes were raided this week.
She's worked several massive cases and lawsuits over the years, some public, others not, involving the music industry and Hollywood.
I know where the bodies are buried, so to speak.
Exactly. So what is happening in Hollywood? What's happening in the music industry? And why is this happening?
There's an intersection, in many cases, of celebrity, drugs, guns, manipulation. It's a very dangerous place to be.
There are some people who believe that they are, when they reach a certain level, invincible.
Mark Hawkins, a professor at LA Film School, also known as DJ Clientele, from World Class Wrecking Crew, a group that helped shape hip-hop.
There are certain things that I've seen in the business that would make me turn away, or if I didn't have a strong constitution, would not want to accept.
Many celebrities have no boundaries. They're rich, they're powerful, they're famous. They do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, to whomever they want.
Do they get away with it?
I would say many people have gotten away with it.
A highly influential industry recently making headlines for all the wrong reasons. How do we get this to stop moving forward?
My belief is until predators have to pay the consequences themselves, it's not going to stop.
Holding people readily accountable for their actions and making sure that we don't let up on that.
Reporting in Hollywood, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
We turn now to a developing story outside of Las Vegas. FBI agents are investigating a small explosion that happened at a Mormon church. Fox 5's Molly McBride reports 4 people suffered minor injuries.
I looked down, it started spinning and sparkling, right under my seat.
And then?
It was kind of like a flash grenade, so it went off and it was just loud, everyone was stunned.
Not only stunned, but burned. Henderson police say the firework-type device used last night resulted in the injuries of 4 people.
Last night, it actually cracked the wood. It displaced the wood, and that's a pretty powerful explosion. And can you imagine if that was closer to a person? They're fireworks that they're using, but powerful fireworks.
El Dorado Steak President Stephen Morris tells me he assumes whoever threw the device entered through an unlocked door, but they now plan to add additional security measures like cameras to prevent this from happening in the future. His message to whoever is behind the explosions.
This is a very, very serious matter. If they think it's a prank, there's nothing funny about this.
And that was Fox 5's Molly McBride reporting tonight. Sources tell Fox 5 this was the third time a small explosive was thrown into that building just within the last month. All right, it is opening day of the 2024 Major League Baseball season today as fans across the West filled up stadiums and sports bars to cheer on their teams. It is at the same time a bittersweet moment for A's fans in Oakland. This could be the A's last opening day in Oakland as the team is still negotiating a lease extension. The plan to relocate to Las Vegas prompted frustrated A's fans to launch what they are calling a summer of boycott outside the Coliseum tonight. Their message is clear. They're urging A's owner John Fisher to sell the team and scrap his plans to move. Organizers hope other fans attending the game see them and then skip the game as well. They plan to do this all season long. And one fan we talked with talked about why he thinks it is so important for the team to stay in Oakland.
I've been going to games ever since I was little. I grew up back in the late 80s, early 90s going to games. My childhood's here. All my memories from baseball are here. And that's why we call it the last dive bar. It may not be the most pretty home, but it's our home. We could go anywhere in the stadium. I could be like, oh, 20 years ago I sat in this seat and watched Barry Zito win a Cy Young. I was over here, watched Tim Hudson win his 20th game and clinch the playoffs for the A's. So all my memories are here. This is my team I grew up with. I don't want them to leave. It's not the fans, it's the owners.
And organizers of this demonstration expect anywhere between 20 and 30,000 fans will be taking part in tonight's boycott during the opening day festivities. The famed Tropicana Casino in Las Vegas will be torn down to make room for a new A's ballpark on the Strip, and the resort is planning to shut down next week. That has a lot of people rushing to tie the knot at the Tropicana.
In the heyday, it was the big thing. You know, it was the Hawaiian feel, the tropical feel of the Tropicana. And people love that, and they keep coming back for it. Imagine back in the mob days, they were doing weddings back here, too. Like, it's kind of cool to think about that everyone celebrates love throughout time.
And coming up later in this newscast, the minister of Tropicana's Island Wedding Chapel will share how couples are trying to become part of the venue's decades-long history before it's too late. House Speaker Mike Johnson says the impeachment articles for Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas will be sent over to the Senate next month. Congress returns from recess on April 10th. Republicans are calling on Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to schedule a trial as soon as possible. Last month, the House voted to impeach Mayorkas by the slimmest of margins, 214 to 213. Republicans say he failed to enforce border laws in the midst of an illegal immigration crisis. Mayorkas says those allegations are baseless, and the Democrat-controlled Senate is not expected to convict him. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, a new nationwide crackdown leads to the arrests of hundreds of undocumented immigrants, many of them here in the West. Tonight, what ICE agents were looking for in this sweeping investigation.
And in weather, here's our live camera down in Southern California. LAX, some clouds out there, a nice sunset. It looks like another dry day for tomorrow in Southern California, but we are talking about some heavy rain as we head toward Friday night and Saturday. In fact, flood watches posted for parts of Southern California. We'll have the update coming up.
Also coming up tonight, an Oregon woman doesn't hesitate to help when she sees several teenagers involved in a fiery car crash.
In that moment, I was just going to do whatever I needed to do to help them. I was fully expecting as I walked up to the car to find a dead body or a child on fire.
We'll show you the emotional moment that she got a thank you from the mother of one of those boys. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement says agents have arrested 216 non-citizens with convictions for drug trafficking or possession. This bust was part of a 12-day nationwide operation spanning from Seattle to Boston. ICE officials say those arrested come from nearly 30 different countries, including Mexico, El Salvador, and India. So far, about 36 people have been deported.
While this particular operation targeted those with drug convictions, many arrested had additional serious criminal convictions, including burglary, arson, assault, kidnapping, extortion, sexual assault, and forgery.
Authorities say a total of 420 non-citizens were identified in this operation, and ICE is still searching for those who have not yet been caught. A judge is allowing Mexico to proceed with a lawsuit against gun shops in Arizona. This lawsuit, filed in 2022, says those gun stores played a role in trafficking weapons and ammunition to drug cartels across the border. The gun shops named in the suit are located in Phoenix and Tucson. The judge says Mexico makes plausible claims that are exempt from the federal protection of the Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. An Oregon mom is being praised for her heroism tonight after she rushed to help 3 teenagers when their car crashed in the town of Lebanon. Fox 12's Paulina Aguilar shows us how the teens' families are showing their gratitude.
It's been 3 weeks since the incident here on River Drive, and it's still quite the scene. We've got a headlight from the car involved still here. We've got glass, track marks, and burnt marks from the fire. Alicia Hendrickson says that it's all thanks to a trailblazer game that night that went into overtime that allowed her to save a young boy just in time.
It was about 11:30 at night. I was coming home down River Drive and I realized that there was a car on fire. The flames were probably 6-8 feet high, and there was 2 teenage boys standing on the side of the road, and they were just panicked. They're like, you know, we wrecked, our friend is still trapped in the car, we can't get him out. In that moment, I was just gonna do whatever I needed to do to help them. I was fully expecting as I walked up to the car to find, you know, a dead body or a child on fire. So I opened the passenger side door and I just see like airbag, the seats pushed all the way forward, and this kid is trapped. He's groaning and he says, I can't move. And so I was just like, okay, I gotta get to work. And so thankfully the seat, the handle, it was broke off, but there was still a metal piece. I was able to lift it up, pull the seat all the way back. Then I just kind of leaned into the car, reached around his chest, and just pulled him out. Then at that point I saw the fire truck pull up. The timing was pretty crazy that I was within minutes of that accident. It was a last minute decision to like buy tickets and take my son to the Blazers game that night. They went into overtime. We were there 30 minutes longer.
She was at the right place at the right time. All of our kids survived. I can't thank Alicia enough for being there that night and helping our boys. She's an angel. Probably more than friends, probably more like family.
Yeah, I think we're pretty connected at this point.
This incident remains under investigation, and we are waiting to confirm more information with Lynn County Sheriff. One of the boys remains in the hospital on a ventilator. We're told he will make a full recovery, but will have to learn to walk again. And if you would like to help the teenage boys, we'll have a GoFundMe link on our website at kptv.com. Reporting in Lebanon, Paulina Aguilar, Fox 12 Oregon.
Turning to our weather tonight, and another round of storms bringing rain and snow to California once again. Video posted on social media shows heavy rain near Yosemite National Park today. For more, let's turn things over to KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking these storms that will be moving across the west as we head through Easter weekend.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. That's a video. The rain showers we just saw in that video linked up with the first system. The next one is developing offshore, so you can see the satellite and the radar here. We have the circulation up here off the coastline of Washington, and this is the guy we're watching for the San Francisco Bay Area and down towards Southern California. In fact, right now the current position is about 620 miles to the northwest of San Francisco, and that'll be the key factor as we head into a Friday and Saturday. Here is the radar coverage, as you can see up in Seattle and Portland throughout the day today. I did see 0.05 up in Seattle as far as rainfall. This was the scene up in Seattle with some cloud cover out there. Temperature is on the cooler side, 54 degrees. In San Francisco, we had some scattered rain earlier today, but then a sun cloud mix into the afternoon hours, 61 degrees. And in Southern California, Santa Monica and Los Angeles had a high of 68 degrees. And the pattern definitely changing by Friday night and Saturday for Southern California, with flood watches going into effect with the increase in rainfall rates. So here is the plan tomorrow. In Seattle, some cloud cover in the morning, Temperatures in the 50s, rain and wind increasing for San Francisco tomorrow. In fact, they have wind advisories for the Bay Area for Friday and Saturday. Partly sunny skies out toward Denver. Another dry day in Southern California, also out toward Arizona. In fact, Phoenix will be approaching the 80s, but this all changes, at least for San Francisco and Los Angeles, as we head toward Friday night and into Saturday. Take a look at the rainfall projections, as these numbers will be going up, and that's significant rainfall down in Los Angeles. In fact, that flood watch that goes into effect Friday evening right on through Sunday morning, they could be talking about rainfall rates on the order of about 1/2 inch to about 3/4 of an inch an hour. So that could lead to some problems down, at least for the southern half of California, even significant rainfall for San Francisco. So here's the forecast models. We put this into motion. As you can see, there's that, kind of get an idea of that circulation approaching the coastline. So rainfall developing out toward the Bay Area and then down towards Southern California. The activity starts ramping up by Friday night and into Saturday. And also look at all this activity out toward the Sierra. They have a winter storm warning in place. So we have been talking about 2 systems, also linking up with 2 winter storm warnings. The second one out toward the west slopes of the Sierra. This begins at 8 o'clock Friday, right on through most of the weekend. And snowfall could be right around 10 to 24 inches. So here's the plan over the next several days for Seattle. As you can see, with some cloud cover tomorrow morning, decreasing into the afternoon hours. For San Francisco, some rain definitely for Friday. Saturday could be a bit unsettled with the possibility of some thunderstorms. You can see the warm weather out toward Arizona. And then, at least for Friday and Saturday, and then down toward Los Angeles, we've covered that section of the state quite a bit, with those rain chances really going up by Saturday, and then maybe some thunderstorms into Sunday as well. So 2 storms this week, Alex. The second one definitely making its presence felt for Friday and into Saturday.
All right, Mark, thank you. Yeah. We have some new details tonight on the closure of one of Las Vegas's most famous casinos. It's set for next week. The Tropicana's gaming floor will shut down at 3 a.m. on Tuesday morning. The last night to book a stay at the Tropicana is on Monday. Some rooms are still available, but rates are starting at $499. What's becoming difficult to book is a reservation to get married at the resort's famous island wedding chapel. Fox 5's Shauna Kalafi spoke to the chapel's minister about the venue's rich history.
Everyone that was married at the Tropicana looks at it as a special, it was their special time that they were here. We wanted a Las Vegas wedding, and Tropicana was it. It was it was in the heyday, it was the big thing. It was the Hawaiian feel, the tropical feel of the Tropicana. And people love that, and they keep coming back for it. And I think everyone will miss it.
The wedding chapel at the Tropicana has been celebrating love and commitment since the hotel opened almost 67 years ago.
Imagine back in the mob days, they were doing weddings back here too. It's kind of cool to think about that everyone celebrates love throughout time.
The original chapel building still standing, holding decades of memories inside, a week before the hotel closes for good.
Well, we've had a lot more renewals come in. We've had a lot more couples that have been married for 20 years. We were married here 15 years, and they want to come back and take pictures and celebrate with us again. It's kind of special.
Tropicana Weddings Minister Allison Pradas says the chapel hosted at least 25 weddings just last week, about a 20% increase from a typical week, as the frantic calls continue from couples hoping to secure a wedding date before the Tropicana's closing date on April 2nd.
The history is really what it is. People are kind of sad that the history is going away. It's one of the originals, as they say, that was here for a long time, and they're kind of sad to see it go.
Shauna Kalafi, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.
And while the Tropicana will close its doors for good next week, demolition to make room for a new Major League Baseball stadium is not expected to begin until summer. Up next tonight here on West Coast Wrap, 25 years in prison. That's the sentence for crypto entrepreneur Sam Bankman-Fried. We'll break down how the punishment for fraud stacks up against what prosecutors and defense attorneys had asked for. Also, a California school has turned one Easter celebration into a science experiment. See how they're teaching students with Easter eggs. Prosecutors in California are warning people about debit card skimming devices. A scheme involves placing fake devices on self-checkout machines, often seen at grocery stores and gas stations. Surveillance footage shows how quickly these skimmers are being installed and why it's so difficult to spot them.
Place a fake keypad on top of the real point of sale system that looks identical. It's fairly easy to take off. The adhesive isn't that strong because of the reason when they come in, they put it in within a matter of seconds, and when they take it, they also do the same.
Police have some advice for everyone. Check for any loose or suspicious attachments before you use your card. Crypto entrepreneur Sam Bankman-Fried was sentenced today to 25 years in prison for a massive fraud scheme that led to the collapse of his FTX exchange. That sentence was handed down in a New York courtroom today after the 32-year-old from California was convicted of fraud and conspiracy back in November. Prosecutors had recommended a 40 to 50-year sentence, while the defense was hoping for 5 to 7 years. Bankman-Fried was found guilty of misusing customer funds to pay for luxury properties, private jets, and risky investments. Customers, lenders, and investors lost over $10 billion. The judge today asked that Bankman-Fried be allowed to serve his sentence at a medium-security federal prison in California. A California elementary school is introducing science, technology, engineering, and math to students early by giving the kids a chance to participate in an egg drop experiment. Fox's Elizabeth Alvarez explains how local first responders help to make it happen.
It's been a fun day at James Dukes Elementary School as students have participated in an egg drop experiment. It's all part of a lesson in STEM, and this year the school got help from CAL FIRE San Diego. From the top of ladder truck 38, a firefighter releases an egg put in a contraption that was designed and created by each student. The point of the experiment was to see if the egg inside would survive the 20-foot drop. Parent volunteers scrambled to get things in order to check and see if the egg did not crack. Some contraptions were cooked from the get-go. Ew, a yucky mess. Yeah. No, that one did not survive, but look how cool this contraption is. How did that egg do? Survivor. But amazingly, an overwhelming amount of students designed successful gadgets that protected their egg.
Your egg did not break.
It looked like the pink box with a trash can thing to set it down nicely, and the whole paper towels were in it to not let it break and not let it have slobbery all over it.
And did it break?
No. So I added little Toy Story thingies that blow up, and then so it can not make it break. Then I added some little puppets to squeeze it.
Yep, it's good. I'm just hoping that these kids it sparks some desire for some engineering and then they do it better next year.
James Duke Elementary School does the egg drop every year, as do many schools across San Diego. Overall, the students here had an excellent time. In Ramona, I'm Elizabeth Alvarez. Back to you.
Finally tonight, a family of owls have made an Arizona elementary school their home. They've been there for the past 5 years or so. The students love having them around, and they have gone to great lengths to make the owls feel welcomed. A makeshift perch is now nested in a tree on the campus, built by the school. And for a science project, the students set up a trail camera so they can monitor those owls and learn about their wildlife friends. That is a fantastic project for those students. Thank you so much for watching West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you joining us here. We'll leave you here with a beautiful sunset shot out towards San Francisco. Have a great night.
Employees